Nsem-Pii TV near.
Live from the Accra High Court, Ehonum, and as you see there, the ambulance trial is almost nearing judgment day. Yes, Richie Jakpa and the Attorney General and State Prosecutors every day 4 of Omo cross-examination. Now, Omuviya and the Office of the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, Gertrude Saki, Isaba Tokono, a catcher Yamame, Justice of Appeal, Efia Serwaa Asaributri, say, we case we are Omra, no me kanoho, Supreme Court bench, is answer, or ye Juma Yipa Edema, or my Ghana. Now, Justice Efia Asaributri, together with 4 other Court of Appeal judges, any ye day or moko. Before Ansana Obekono, or the judgment Ebeba Ansana Obekwa Court, Nene, or her Richie Jakpa, who peer free court, with Gina Doc Numu, said the name whom Esia Mobo, na Samija Fimo, or Mrs. Matras or Courtwa. Na Utia proceedings here, Koye, Richie Jakpa testimony of mine, as compared to his evidence in chief, so contradictory, and Trobibri in the womb. I am Justice Efia Serwaa Ekwa them ako prepare any judgment. Abra all parties ever file or more final written addresses. Now, the Office of the Attorney General Akasa after court proceedings in the Yebe Corner Akwakuti or more can be the address Sami Nsem-Pii pa Trobia free court a PA or be Jina Bontia Odi. After Chua Deputy Attorney General and for Sami Nsem-Pii one channel, so Sami Nsem-Pii in Yansa, on Yansa Kasa. Now, a lawyer need before Sani Bakuti no Richie Jakpa highlighted statement and audit to be. Yebusan question Jakpa say, my lord, the first batch of ambulances wasn't supplied in December. Then Godfred Odami shows him exhibit to prove it was December. Jakpa say, my lord, big C letter will prove it wasn't December. Now Godfred Odami as such another exhibit BMA a big C for letter no. I chere say December no de buy. Afi Jakpa and I dia on to me emina no enkashi e wo court wi. Yet was will be yourself Busano, Justice of Appeal, first was able to say ambulances no. Dear bear pa na near Monday Baby, if you see Busa Jakpa say there was almost packing in the government they used to now was almost train. Jakpa say the ambulances were not meant to be used, they were meant to be packed. Why never got to ambulance or be packing at the home? Ambulances are essential. I hear said the Biabe humanity Jini Pankwa. Jakpa say ambulances now. Ne to force in DC for Kabum Kotoy, no more than the Uncle Toy, so mobile packet. It's a Ghana and my emergency on the Boganaka. Lastly, he argued with the AGR say ambulance delivery no, it didn't start in 2014. Now our letter to prove say in year 2014 and ambulances no, a year card on EBT never yet. On for letter number Jakpa didn't letter buyer or DB a court clerk DB ma me judge attorney general and a case out to force in lawyers now. Date also and it's ambulances and delivery started December 2014. Afi Japan the simu jire ayi ho jina ho on to me and carry ewo court na just say Richard Jakpa ono ana no akwa yinika. Now on this issue of ambulance delivery and as Sami Nsem-Pii say obe deceive Ghanaians say I omo de omo yoma just omo ko ambulances no na ichiri omo akwa hihye na kufu do abayi kura sa mo ye forgetting. In 2011, NNDC chassis the ambulance in Ujuma. 2012, in Utua Hong Kasi Yambra. 2016, still the ambulances were not operational. And then Kufuado happened so. June 2018, and almost started procurement process. 28 January 2019, near commission ambulances. No, a stark difference. Now, after your Deputy Attorney General, Wakasa Yipa, Omiankoni Kunkuti, after court. Nsem-Pii or the Etuja.
Deputy Attorney General, no, he's coming back, so let's just position ourselves here. Alfred Chiayeboa is coming to address the media briefly.
Finally, we have seen the end of your cross-examination of Mr. Richard Jakpa, the third accused person. Have you made your case here?
We have made our case as prosecutors. The AG, myself, my sister, the DPP, we took turns to cross-examine Jakpa, and I think we have met our expectations.
So with the answers you've managed to solicit from Richard Jakpa, where do you think the case would go once everything comes to a conclusion?
I will not be judgmental, but I'll just stick to the facts. You were in court today. You heard issues about the post-inspection done by the former government, which Jakpa said was done mischievously, not our worst. He said it was done out of mischief. You were in court. And he also said that when it comes to the ambulance, they were not meant to be used. You were in court, you heard it. You were also in court when it came to the date for the delivery of the ambulances. And then he said it was in January. And he finally had to come back home. You were also in court. And you heard about the ambulance having been delivered in 2014, December. So the previous government had over 2 years to have, if any, remedied the situation. Why not?
He said at the time it wasn't handed over to government. It was supposed to be kept at a safe place for the installation of the accessories, training of paramedics before it is handed over. So it will not be accurate to say that it had been handed over to government at the time. He explained in court.
But you listened to him when he read the letters of Honorable Nsem-Pii. So those ambulances are vans, not my words, the words of Honorable Nsem-Pii. You also listened to his reading of the letters by Honorable Sherry Aite, who also said they were not vans and that they should stop manufacturing the said ambulance. So from all indications, you realize that what we have in court now, from the letters that he read, not our evidence, their evidence, the ambulances, with all due respect, from their own side, are vans. And with their vans, how do you use them?
Vans in the sense that it was not supposed to be used as ambulances at the time.
But you see, there was this issue about conversion. You see, AG decided to take him through that one, and he decided to just rely on the heading. That's in evidence. We decided to also let him know that you may have the heading there, but the details do not match what we claim to be the heading. And so the ambulances, as we have them now, you go through all the exhibits that we have in court, and you make your own judgments. As I said, I will not be making judgments here, but we have succeeded in putting across our case strongly that Mr. Jakpa gave his evidence in chief. We've also confronted him to our side of the matter, and the judge definitely made a pronouncement on this matter.
Away from one of the things that Sammy Jeffy said, he described the Attorney General as a local champion who is only good at fixing matches. What will be your immediate response to this particular attack on the Attorney General?
It is rather unfortunate. My brother is a lawyer. The Honorable Attorney General is an astute lawyer. He's a well-read lawyer, a revered lawyer. He knows his stuff. And so if he decides to say that he's a match fixer, I don't understand him. Go to the law reports, go to Supreme Court of Ghana law reports, and look at the case that he's done at the time that he was in private practice. And from 2016 to date, I can say without any fear of equivocation that if you look at the ages that we have in Ghana, if it's not the best, it may be one of the best when it comes to his courtroom appearance. And look at international arbitrations. An Attorney General who leads his team to go on international arbitration and win cases internationally, not local. So if you say local champion, what does it mean? An Attorney General who is able to boost the staff strength of the ministry, giving them the training such that now we do not pay millions of dollars to external solicitors. Only few of them. Most of the cases that we have on arbitration, he leaves. So does it mean that if he goes outside to fight those cases, he also goes there to fix matches? It doesn't make sense if you say that he fixes matches.
You kept referencing some documents, exhibits, and he kept referencing the Attorney General to a 2016 letter by Alex Segbefia, which he says voids those letters that you were relying on. What's your reaction to that?
That is own belief and his thinking. We are not going to assess the evidence, but when we file our addresses, you see how we are going to tackle all those things. When did we hold elections in Ghana? Wasn't it on the 7th of December? And when was that letter written? So I'm not going to talk much. The letter was written post-2016 elections. So what was it meant to be? I'm not going to conclude. Make your own deductions. In the address, we will come out with all these things.
One thing that actually happened today was the introduction of the link by the court to ensure that virtually everybody anywhere in the country can look at it. On your side, how do you welcome this particular question?
I think it's good. because I think today not less than 500 people joined. That was the maximum number. And it's also a decision that was made by the Chief Justice, which the judge conveyed to us. There are a lot of people who want to have access to the proceedings. And I think moving forward, this particular case, people can have access to it and then look at it. Because after all, it's a public matter that we are holding these hearings in the public. Just that it's within the confines of a court. So the moment you have this system where people can just view it online, it expands the frontiers of the justice delivery system in Ghana.
Will the AG make cases for more of such things to happen?
I'm not going to speak the amount of the AG, but I think it's a positive step. It's something that if you replicated, is going to help us.
There was the issue where Richard Jakpa raised that the container that contained the accessories had been emptied, and indeed it was currently in a different country, China to be precise. Well, how do you respond to that?
If you are alleged in court, what do? Don't you have to prove it? Leave it there, let him prove it.
So do you know exactly where the accessories are right now? He says they can't locate.
He is making the allegation that the accessories came. It is his duty to lead evidence to that effect. In any event, what were they meant for? And why from 2014? 2014. So what happened between 2014 and 2017 January? What happened? Had the container arrived? If it had arrived before that, what was done to it? I mean, I'm not going to be judgmental.
It begs the same question again, that at the time they were brought in, they were not supposed to be used. So government was supposed to clear the accessories, get them installed before it's handed over to government. Within that period, that couldn't have happened. You would agree?
But go and take the exhibit, the exhibit V, the contract. Whether there was any mentioning of a conversion, properly so-called, that they should bring ambulances here and they convert them. That's why he's seeking to say that they were supposed to. But the evidence, the evidence that we have is to the fact that they are purely vans. Do you want your mother to place in a van?
Van in the sense that it wasn't
disposed. I mean, we must look at it well, because if indisposed and you are bringing in an ambulance, I must be rest assured that the ambulance I'm going to be placed in is a proper ambulance, but not a van.
Serwaa, you also agree that he's made this point, and the judge kept asking him to move on, because he's made it over and over that the buses, as they were at the time, were not ambulances and were not supposed to be used by the government of Ghana until the accessories were installed. At that time, it wasn't done, so you can't call it an ambulance which were defective, correct?
You see, we did not conduct the post-delivery inspection. We came to meet it. And that's why he was saying that the former government did it out of mischief. So is he saying that Mr. Serwaa, is he saying that Mr. Jakpa, all of them were mischievous in this transaction? Maybe make your own deductions. It was done by them. We came to meet it. We inherited it. And we carried it on. Because two of their ministers had written that this kind of contract, looking at how they were looking at things, should not be carried through. And monies were paid.
So you would have rather government of Ghana incurred the judgment debt that was pending if we had not gone through with this agreement?
What's the guarantee that there was going to be a judgment debt?
It was captured in the AG's advice.
The AG's advice was to the fact that they must go by the dictates of the contract.
Which part of which says that if you don't comply,
the AG's advice, you have no problem with it. It was properly given, but they were advised to go by the dictates of the contract. What were the dictates? Supply ambulances. They do go by that. So I'm not being judgmental, but look at that's it. The contract was about how they were supposed to pay. Did they comply with it? I'm not going to be judgmental. So these are some issues in court that the court definitely make a pronouncement on. So I'm not going to give.
Okay, so in totality of the evidence, that the cross-examination that you have conducted of Mr. Jakpa, how will you rate your case on a scale of 1 to 10, probably?
We have done our side of the matter, and we think what we have done so far is to our satisfaction. We're now going to leave it to the judge. In our addresses, we highlight the salient areas for the judge's consideration.
You tried to question Richard Jakpa's claim of being released honorably the other day. How do you find him as a witness to you, prospectively?
Richard Jakpa is an ex-serviceman. He was in the witness box, just like any other person. He gave his evidence in chief. We cross-examined him. We came out with documents that we had on him. I will end it here.
He said the documents you procured are fraudulent, and the coat of arms is doctored because the wings are broken.
So,
how do you respond to that?
So if you make an allegation that something is fraudulent, who bears the burden to produce evidence? Jakpa. Maybe he will call the military people and say that this document is fraudulent, but as far as we are concerned, it's a genuine document, authentic document that we procure from the military high command, and we've tendered it.
Thank you very much. So Richard Jakpa is addressing the media. We will just get
to the court complex now, where the communication officer of the NDC, Nsem-Pii, is addressing the media after the cross-examination of Richard Jakpa.
The effect of letters of credit, suggesting that letters of credit constitute advance payment. And Jakpa educated him that every letter of credit contains condition precedents. One of it is the point of negotiation. And the point of negotiation for this one was a Jebel Ali port in Dubai. So you can't say that if you see a provision in the contract that says that payment shall only be made on site of goods, then it means that on site of goods means when you see the goods at Tema port. When as an attorney general, you are supposed to read these simple things and know that the negotiation point is a Jebel Ali port in Dubai. So once it is shipped from there and Big C receives the bill of lading documentations, and that is it, they have met the condition precedents. Another ignorance of the attorney general exposed. Then you saw the misinterpretation of a balance sheet, which has opening accounts, closing accounts, elementary, even me, the little accounting they taught me at the law school, I understand this. You just see figures in a balance sheet and you interpret that to mean payment to Big C. When that has to do with transactions, debit and credit in the account from which the letter of credit was established, and not payment to Big C. And Jakpa exposed him. But for me, the most embarrassing one, perhaps, was when the Attorney General categorically suggested that, look, there is nothing in the agreement. There is nothing in the agreement that says that Big C will be converting vans into ambulances. He was so sure. Take it and show me. Then Jakpa educated him, read it to him. Clause 21, that the entire agreement includes the annexes. And Annex B is clear about conversion. The Attorney General has had X all over his face. So embarrassed. You know, I was looking at the spokesperson, my good brother Wilberforce in court then. The man could not even raise up his head. He was so embarrassed that his boss, the Attorney General, could not examine this document properly. Then you put that aside. The Attorney General was also categorical. You see, this man is a local champion only because he specializes in fixing matches. But you see, now that everybody is watching the proceedings and he has met his meter, Jakpa, you see how he's being exposed. You don't even read documents that you are cross-examining a witness on. You don't read. And you come and tell Jakpa that, look, read the Attorney General's letter. Where did he never, Tammy was categorical, that the Attorney General never told government to establish a letter of credit. You are in court. Then Jakpa read it. And the Attorney General was clear that government is bound by the terms and should perform the terms. What are the terms? Key term is a letter of credit. So clearly, that is how bankrupt in knowledge relative to this case this Attorney General is. And he's moving all over the place, you see, because he himself doesn't believe in this case. He says he was being pressured by Ken Ofori-Atta and Akufo-Addo to persecute Atto-Forsen and hope that they will win the case, go for a by-election, in the belief that Fantas are cheap and get one more seat that they don't deserve. And today you've seen the results. Then last but two, you saw this whole talk about the ambulances being defective. The ambulances were not fit for purpose. Today Jakpa has settled the matter. Because he's pointed us to exhibits before the court that some of us were not even aware of. That the ambulances were never intended to be used. I said this on Newsfile some time ago and people did not understand. Because you have ordered for ambulances, the supplier has supplied the ambulances and says, I'm not done with my work. Your duty is to clear them for me because it's a CIF transaction. Pack them at a safe place. I will now come and install the medical accessories, train paramedics and hand them over to you. If you use it, you avoided the warranty. On what basis do you conduct post-delivery inspection on ambulances that have not been handed over to you and make a conclusion that they are defective when the ambulances have not been completed and handed over to you? You see the mischief. And Jakpa exposes them that the medical accessories have been shipped. They were shipped in October 2016, arrived at Tema Port November, cleared. The container has been emptied The container now is in China. Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, Dame and his people, the MPP, they've taken custody of the accessories. We don't know where they are. When what they are required to do is that once you take custody of the accessories, you must inform Big C to come and install. Now, what J accessories now, you won't tell them to come and install. Who is causing financial loss? For 7 to 8 years, where are the accessories? In order for them to contrive this baseless case against Atto-Forsen and persecute him, they have hidden, concealed the medical accessories. And Salam, you and your colleagues here, go to the Ministry of Health. They cleared accessories. These are taxpayers' funds. Ask them, where are the accessories? We need accessories. Let us fix them into the ambulances and use it. We need ambulances.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.